by any means necessary.
Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. I have a dream. We can never be satisfied as long as the Negro is the victim of the unspeakable horrors of police brutality. Who taught you, please? Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Hello, welcome to the Uncanny Truth Teller. This is Kanye Tetsibo, and today I want to talk about Black-owned businesses. But first, let me let everybody know that starting next month, I will start promoting Black-owned businesses for free on the Facebook page and throughout the mini groups that we have. Now, I only ask for a few guidelines just so that people can know about not just your business, but who you are and everything. So some of these guidelines are the name of your business, a complete address, city, state, pictures, and description of your business. If you have your own Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, or even a website, also inbox me this information. As well, price, because we have to talk about price, and that's going to be one of the topics of this episode, because a lot of people don't understand that when it comes down to price, we have to find a middle ground for that. Also, your mission statement. I know this seems a little strange, but it's important that people get to know you and your mission and history to your business. Now, with that said, I would like to talk about what brings me to talk about this, because on the page, like usual, people comment, and one of the commenters, he says there's an elephant in the room when it comes down to Black-owned businesses that most Black people have no problem addressing. It's Black-owned business owners' trust. Most Black people don't know how to trust Black businesses, and with good reason. I'm not saying all, but the majority of Black people get over-oriented. This is me reading what he wrote. The Black customer or consumer wants something for nothing, and the Black business owner wants to get more money for a product of inferiority or of quality. The return policy for shoddy merchandise, often the consumer or customer leery about future business transactions. How do we fix this problem? So, of course, I sit there and I think about this, and I pretty much come up with the best answer as possible. It's a give and take relationship. Like any relationship, there has to be compromise. We also have to listen to one another. Granted, some business owners need to take business classes, but also some people have to stop expecting everything from Black business owners, especially discounts or handouts. It's a problem we both, customer and business owners, have to figure out together. You want a product, I want you to have my product. I know you're like me. We make so much money, but at the same time, I need profit while giving you quality products, and you want to buy from me, but the price just isn't in your range. We have to find a middle ground. And pretty much that's where we have to talk about these things right here and now, because many business owners have not taken business classes. So it's not to say that they have poor customer service skills. It's just that they get frustrated and start yelling at their customers at times. And when a customer asks too many questions, they get annoyed. But at the same time, you can't get annoyed by these things because this is the people that's bringing in your income. These are the people who want to support you. So you have to listen to them. And you should listen to them. But at the same time, it's like I said, people need to stop on this high horse because they will go all out supporting Gucci and all these other white-owned businesses with prices that range from $500 to $1,000. You'll spend there, no problem. But let a black-owned business owner with the same equality products, you will not spend because of their price. How is it you can spend close to $1,000 on Gucci slides, but you won't spend $200 on a RBG slides? So yeah, I can understand that people don't want to spend all this money for simple clothing or accessories. But at the same time, if you have no problem spending that crazy amount of money on these white-owned businesses, but you have a problem with spending that same amount of money putting it into a black-owned business who's obviously going to put it back into the black community, then that's a problem. And when it comes down to things like food, I don't believe that, from what I'm understanding, there shouldn't be a tax on that. So I believe that we should also still take business classes for that too, because a lot of time you go into a restaurant, a lot of these black-owned businesses do not have a set amount of straws or so, and they should restock early. That way they won't run into this problem. But in the end, we still have to talk to one another and find a middle ground, because many of us want to spend our money with our own people. We are constantly looking to spend our money with our own people. There's an app literally out there where it shows you where all these black-owned businesses are at. And many of us still, knowing about this app, do not spend there because you're complaining about simple stuff, which is the problem, because you're feeling entitled because you spent so much time at these white businesses that you would not give your own people a chance. And by the way, the app can be found in the Google Store and even the Apple Store. Is called Around the Way app. It's a simple download. It shows you all the locations of all black-owned businesses, even black-owned banks in your area. This is the same app that we promoted years ago when we first learned about it. So let's let it be known again that this app is a black-owned app that tells you where black-owned businesses are at. I've even used it a few times to find black-owned businesses in my area. So what we need to do is have some black-owned business owners take classes, for the simple fact that you need it, honestly. It's not to say that all you need it, but those who are having trouble managing your business, those who are having trouble dealing with your customers, you need to take this type of class. I'm going to even mention what happened with my best friend. She always asked me to try to find a black-owned business for her because I'm obviously on social media a lot. So for the last few times, instead of her asking me to find a black-owned business owner to do her hair, she's been going to the same people, and they have not been professional at all. When she has gone to this person, I say at least 3 or 4 times. Maybe. I'm unsure how many times she's really gone to this person. I just know that each and every time that she's gone there, this person has not been professional. They would tell her one time and then show up hours later. They would tell her to meet her at these random strangers' house. Yes, random strangers that she does not know. She would tell them, the owner of this business would tell her, my best friend, to meet them at this random stranger's house at 8 o'clock in the morning. She gets ready, she goes, the person is not there. So she's calling this person, texting them, they're not responding. 8:30 comes around, they're finally responding, saying that they are leaving a dentist's office. Granted, this person did not tell her the night before. When she confirmed with them, 8 o'clock is the time. They didn't tell her anything about them going to a dentist or anything. And they said, yes, I will be there at 8 o'clock. And when she gets there the next morning, they're not there. They're leaving a dentist's office, and then they're saying that they're 15 minutes away. And 15 minutes go by, ends up being 11 o'clock by the time they get there. And almost after 1 or 2 when her hair is being finished. So it's clear and apparent that this person needs to take a business class. And she's even gone to ones with professional salons and have even had the same trouble. She's even gone to the local flea market in the same trouble, but what the one at the flea market, it became more of a pricing issue where she would get one thing done and it would be one set price, and then when it's all done, that person changes up that price. So granted, I could say that she has tried many of times in supporting black-owned businesses and still to this day believes in trying, because she wants her hair done again, and this time she's asked me to go on Instagram to find some black-owned businesses that are in our area, and I found some. I'm not sure on how likely she is to contact them, but she hasn't given up hope, and that's one thing I can say about her. She continues to support. As far as my own personal experience, I have never had that issue because every black-owned business I've gone to have been so far great quality. Mostly they've been food or a barbershop, and I would say they were amazing. And I don't mind tipping at that point because not only is the price has been great, but my hair was looking nice and the food was hot. It was delicious. I've even supported the local black-owned business with the clothing. Maybe one minor issue, but other than that, when you see it, you don't even notice it from afar. So we have to talk to one another and communicate and pretty much find a middle ground. And just like those women that my best friend tried to support, they need to go to a business class on how to conduct business. And with that pretty much being said, many of us could agree, maybe disagree, maybe some will see it as in this is just psychologically been the programming that's been done to us, which I do agree to that. The reason why possibly that we jack up these prices is because of we want right away that big cash grab instead of looking at it in the long run, that if we make it fair and equal, one person tells another person, tells another person, tells another person. Next thing you know, the money that you're making now, you could easily double it or even triple it in the future by just making it fair and actually having great customer support and being a business owner. Because when you're jacking up these prices, people aren't going to want support, but at the same time, they should support no matter what, because they're going to go out there and buy from Gucci, Prada, Fendi, or wherever. They're going to go to those places and spend all their money. So why not do the same for black-owned business? But as I said, it's a middle ground that we have to discuss and find for ourselves. And in the end, we just have to continue to support one another and build generational wealth. The goal in the end of having these businesses is not to get rich quick, but to build something that you could pass down generations after generations after generations after generation. And they keep that business going. Because in the end, if you don't have wealth, what do you really have at all? Look at these large banks. Many of these banks were made off the backs of slaves. Those people who owned the banks took the money and passed it down to their sons and daughters, their nieces, nephews. They kept it in the family for generations and generations. They took what wealth they gained and passed it down till where do you see them at now in this day and age? They're sitting above us because they didn't try to get rich quick. They wanted wealth. They bought land after that. And when they bought land, they started to own the land. They started to own everything that they buy. They didn't just have to put it down on layaway or pay over time. They could just go in there, see something they like, and instantly buy it. That's what wealth does. Getting rich quick, you go in there, you buy it, and it's gone. Now you're back to square one all over again, where you have to save up. Now you're struggling. Now your bills are behind. They don't know what we go through because they don't know our struggles or what we go through. Some of us are barely making it, but still have time to buy Gucci. Some of us are barely making it and still have time to buy Michael Kors. Some of us are still barely making it, but have time to buy Louis Vuitton, Versace, you name it. We somehow have time to take what we can spend and save, spend in our own communities, save for ourselves, put back into our communities, and build generational wealth. We don't have time to do all that because we're too busy trying to make a quick buck. When if we can save that and actually be fair with it by going to that, by finding that middle ground as both a customer and owner, we can help each other. Because like I said, many of us are still struggling but still have time to buy these expensive items, but won't go spend our money at our own businesses because of a price. So what I'm trying to say is, let's talk about it. Let's find that middle ground. Black-owned business owners, those who need to go back to school and take business classes, do it. Those who know how to be great business owners, if you know another Black-owned business owner that's struggling, help your brother, help your sister. Those who work together, earn together. Teach one, reach one. Partner up your businesses if you have to, in association with. Build together. I'm not sure some of y'all even hearing me. But the point is, once we are not divided on this front and we got it down pat, I guarantee you, in the end, it's worth it. Because not only are you spending your money within your own community, with not just your customers, but with each other, each Black-owned business sharing wealth back and forth before it finally leaves that community, you're building wealth. You're putting money towards owning something. I think they said it takes 1,002. And we're not talking just little bits of land. We're talking 40 acres, maybe more, of land. Imagine if you spent that money that you used in your community on buying that land. What happens next is you could start building on that land and make a community. Think about that. And if you do the same thing here in America, guess what? You can make your brand be in one city or two cities. Even build community houses, affordable community houses where you could put, and then guess what? You just not only funded a Black family, a house, a place to stay. They just put money in your pocket, and then you're still making money through your business. And if you're doing it correctly, not only should you have generational wealth, you should have a community of Black people, maybe a whole town in the end. Because we're pretty sure you're going to want to buy more land. And if you make it so that your private property, that this land that you own is also a land where you have cows, like say farming land, that's exempt of taxes. Think about it. You own all this land, and you pretty much, if you don't even want to build a town, you want to build houses for your family. As long as they keep it farming land, you could have 3 or 4 houses, running water, running lights, all that. Grandchildren can live there, your children can live there, children's children. You get the point. Generational wealth is what the goal is, not a quick buck. And that's where we have to get this idea that we have to spend with ourselves, and only with ourselves. We did it once before, and look at what happened. We became wealthy, and then white people saw that and felt threatened by it, and then they destroyed it. So the thing that I believe messed us up back then was the fact that once they saw that everything was destroyed, they gave up. They lost hope. But we are not them, and I don't think that we should let a little setback get us down. If they destroy it, what they say, rebuild it. Rebuild it bigger, better, and pretty much make it so the next time they can't even destroy it. You destroy it, we rebuild it. We gotta keep going with this mindset. We just can't give up. So next time someone says they're not going to support a black-owned business because of price, ask them, what's the most expensive thing in their closet? If they say any of those white-owned brands that cost them a whole paycheck, then correct them. Don't be rude about it, but correct them politely and let them know that they are dead wrong for that. That they won't support a black-owned business, but they support that white business with the prices that's through the roof that cost them 2 paychecks or so. And that's all I just want to say. Now, just as both customers and business owners, talk it out and find a middle ground. If you like this information, please pass it on, help someone, and maybe even reach someone. Each one, teach one. Peace.